Hey there, fellas. So as you can see in the title, I'm going to be teaching you a very boring but profitable trading strategy here. Okay. If you're new to the channel, that's what you're going to learn. If you've been a part of the channel for a bit, we're going to be going over more examples of this in play. Okay. Of what we've been talking about week in, week out. Okay. So, and I want to go over actually, because I want to set the proper expectation here that not every single trade is a winner. You're going to have losses. So I want to go over a losing trade as well, but we'll start with this one. This isn't the losing trade. This is a winning trade from Tuesday that we had with NASDAQ. Really clean deal. So let's break it down. All right. So you see like right here coming with the receipts. See, this is from, you can see the time. And then right there, as I said, confirmed. So we're going to break down this setup. All right. So step number one was this strategy. You need what I call higher time frame candle outlook. I go off the close. What I mean by that is I need the, so if it's with a bullish scenario, I would need something on the higher time frame to tell me that it's bullish, whether that be a strong number 2 candle, a number 3 candle, or a higher time frame filled 2 candle. So you see it right here. This candle that opens up at 6 closes at 10. What did it do? It cleaned out this low and then it engulfed that high. What that makes that is a number 3 candle. What a number 3 candle indicates is continuation. It's a bullish signature. This happens in the 10. So I always wait on the close. All right. I need to wait on the close because the close tells you the true storyline about what's really going on. You probably heard the saying, if you've been in the trading industry for a bit, the wicks do the damage, the body tells the story. The body tells the story here. Okay. So we come into 10. I got that scenario. I got that strong close on the 4 hour. Not only on the 4 hour, but then I got the 1 hour right here. What's this? What's this right here? That had a strong close above this previous candle high right here. Okay. We talked about what a number 3 candle is. Again, to repeat, number 3 candles, whenever you take out the low of a previous candle like this, where my cursor's pointing, and then you see how it engulfed that high. That's a number 3 candle. It's a bullish signature. A number 2 candle is whenever we have price, like you see how it's in this upswing, and you see how it has a strong close with that previous high right there. Strong number 2 candle, but also this happens to be what? It happens to be my CC deal. Once more, if you've been a part of the channel for a bit, you know what CC is. We got the strong close right here. We got that conviction higher. So right away, going into 10 o'clock on this thing, literally all signs point to bullish on this thing going into 10. I got a 4 hour number 3 candle, and then I got a 1 hour bullish CC, strong number 2 candle going into 10. I got direction right off the bat. I got direction. I got a bias to work with. Remember, bias is just subject to the weekly or the daily. You can have a 4 hour bias. You can have a 1 hour bias. And that's what I got here. So, because my execution is on the 1 minute, and I use a 15-minute fill too, and a 1 minute shift for my execution. So then I use the 4 hour, I use the 1 hour for my guiding, to guide me in the direction, all right, in the correct direction. So, and also, if you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself, an invitation to you is this. CC isn't the only thing that I trade with futures. I can have it set up and it not be a CC. But if you want to make it a little bit simpler, and you want to, you can just stick with CC deals. Take what I'm teaching you here for execution, but then use that only on CC deals. Okay. And I'm about to go over what that execution looks like, folks. Okay. But if you've been a part of the channel for a bit, we talked about 1 minute shift, 15-minute filled twos. If you want to be a little bit more selective on the best deals, what you can do is you can stick with strictly CC deals, and then look for and just run out the CC highs or the CC lows, just to make it simpler for yourself. You're still going to get setups week in, week out by doing that, and it makes it it's a lot less, it's just a lot easier, a lot simpler. Okay, so you see right here. After 10, we get a pullback. We come down to this 15-minute imbalance. It's also worth noting because we had the number 3 candle. But look, it comes down to a discount. within that number 3 candle. So it's in a 15-minute discount. Comes down to the imbalance of point of interest. Look what this does. You see that right there? Look at my cursor. Here's what a 15-minute failed to is. This is my confirmation signal. You see how it took out that low? And you see how it failed to displace to that low right there? But even that alone isn't enough. What I also need to see for confirmation is I need to go inside that 15-minute failed to, inside that wick on the lower time frame on my 1 minute, and look for my 1 minute bullish shift. So remember, I only have the higher time frame storyline that is bullish. Okay, I got the strong close, got the number 3 candle, I got my bullish CC. So right away, you got a good target, this high right here. That's going to be your target. Okay, the CC. I have the failed to right here. But then I need to go in. Once that closes in the 10:15, look for a 1 minute shift. All right, here is 10:15. So at that point, I can hop into it. It's good to go. All right. So as you just saw a second ago in the chat, hopping into it there, targeting that high 1-to-1 because I like 1-to-1. I'm not saying like if you want bigger risk reward, here's what you can do for those folks. I like 1-to-1. That's what I do, but I know that doesn't fit everybody. It's pretty simple. If you want bigger risk reward, what comes with that is more losses. So approach it with the proper expectation, but you can just risk the 15-minute fill too. And see, you would have got 2-to-1 in that scenario. See where I'm getting at? So if you do want a bigger winner, if you like say you want at least 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 or whatever, what you can do is once you've established your target, so let's just say your target, let's keep it simple and say you're sticking with solely CC deals, candle confirmation deals, aka you got your strong close up here, and that was left intact. That was never taken. You remember? We go into 10, and that was never taken. So that makes that a CC deal. So that makes that a very simple, good target that you can use. And then okay, I got the 15-minute failed too. I got my 1 minute shift. So what that does is that gives you a very good area to keep your stop at, aka beneath the failed too low. And if it confirms and you just don't got the risk reward that you like, well then just wait for a deeper pullback. It's that simple. Wait for a pullback that would give you your 2-to-1 or give you your 3-to-1. For example, right there, 3-to-1. You see where I'm getting at? I like 1-to-1 because it just allows for that imperfection, because you'll have those scenarios where it'll come down, take out that low, and you're protected from those scenarios. And then it'll end up ramping up in your direction. So like on those types of days where say it's just a little bit choppier, a little bit messier, you're protected with 1-to-1. But I understand some people, they got their mindset on doing 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. That's how you can do it. All right, you risk the low and you target the high, like the CC high. So yeah, that's what you're going to look for, folks. So keep it simple. Look for a strong close on the 1 hour, 4 hour here. That's going to be your CC. And then what you're going to do is, because that's going to be your higher time frame guiding candle, you want to see that high left intact where it had the strong close. Okay. And then you're going to go in there to the lower time frame and you're going to hunt for your 15-minute fill to 1 minute shift, and you're going to run it out. Now I want to go over a losing trade. I know that's unheard of on YouTube, right? Or social media in general. Nobody likes to go over that, but I do want to set the proper expectation. I don't want to go over here and then just go over winning trades, because it's not good. That's not a good way to approach this. Okay. All right. So we're going to go over. So at the time that I'm making this video, this is February 26, 2026. So you can see like right here, I had a setup on NASDAQ in here that was a losing trade. All right. So on this particular day, NASDAQ was getting clobbered, which we were correct on that. Like I made very clear off rip on NASDAQ that this thing was bearish because it was coming up into like major daily buy set up here. We saw that early on, talked about it on stream that it's going to come down, tag out these lows, come down to the discount. And that was the case. But on that entire move lower in there, like it just didn't give me my signature. You see, like it just didn't give me my 15-minute failed to or my 1 minute bearish shift to be able to piggyback that down into that. See where I'm getting at? It was like just one swoop came down, not like any type of pullback in there. So I just can't really do too much with it. And you can't really do too much with that unless you're like a breakout trader, you're playing the momentum. Which number 3 candles, they are good for that. Number 3 candles are good for like trading momentum and trading breakouts and stuff like that, but I like 15-minute failed twos. So I wasn't able to do anything on that initial push lower in there. And the setup was a little bit later in the day. Okay. Now you don't gotta like wait that long for a setup. If you just want to stick with like a specific time, like say 11 o'clock is the end of your kill zone, there's nothing wrong with that. You'll have days where you won't, you'll have those days in there where you won't have a trade, but I mean, you got to be okay with that. You got to exercise some patience. Okay, that's, if you don't have any patience, if you can't go a day without taking a trade, well, you have a bigger issue. All right, but I did get a trade on this a little bit later. So in regards to the higher time frame, you remember the previous example I was talking about the higher time frame candle guiding me. You see I have that CC right there. You see how I had like this really big strong close right here. Now I get it, like it was coming down, because what happened here today on Thursday was it came down into that discount. We talked about this, like it came down below 50% into the higher time frame imbalance, and that's kind of what propped it up in there. But I'm listening to the chart. I'm not playing the prediction game. I'm playing the responding game. And it's not giving me like a clear indication that this is going to be the low yet. So I get that strong close. I got that conviction in there. And then you can see a little bit later, right? Or not right here. Right here. See this? You see how it has this push up right here? It takes out to this 15-minute buy side. I have that failed 2 in there. And then inside that failed 2. So remember, I got my CC down here. Now, I was actually being a little bit more conservative with it. And I was looking to fill in the imbalance, but there was nothing wrong with wanting to shoot for this as well. It's just I had this right here that I wanted to take it down into, just to be a little bit more conservative with my PT, but you could have shot for this. So like if you're focused like solely on CC deals, candle confirmation deals, and running out those lows or highs, then that could have been your PT 1-to-1. Or, it's, again, as I said earlier, it's up to you and how you want to go about setting your stop. But we have the higher time frame bearish still. I have a 15-minute failed 2, bearish failed 2 in conjunction with that bias going into 2 o'clock. Okay. So then what happens is, and then the 4 hour had a strong close as well, by the way, at that time. So the 1 hour strong close, 4 hour strong close. I have the higher time frame, all signs point to bearish in there. And then look, you see this? There's my displacement inside that 15-minute fill 2. I have the fair value gap, and I have the strong close, which is the short-term low, going into 2 o'clock. So here's what I did. So I took the L on the chin. It is what it is. It's part of the game, folks. It's going to happen. I wanted to see it come down filling that imbalance, just to be a little bit conservative with my PT, as I mentioned. 1-to-1, I got taken out right up there. Okay. So it just couldn't do it for me. Now, if you were shooting for the CC low, you probably would have been able to stay in it. Let's see. Yeah, if you're doing 1-to-1, you would have been able to stay in it with that, and you would have took a full L on it. Or another option, as I mentioned a second ago, if you want bigger risk reward, risk the high of the 15-minute fill 2, and then look what you got. You got 5-to-1. Literally, there's your big winner. Okay, so that's another way that you can approach that scenario. It's up to you. So I gave you a couple different options there, folks. If you want to do 1-to-1 like me, that's how you would do it. If you want bigger risk reward, that's how you can do it. Okay, and then you take the L. You just look for a new entry later on up in here, which you didn't give, but that's how you would approach it. So you're gonna have L's in there. So I want to set that expectation, like proper expectation going into it. It's going to happen. It happens with every strategy. You're never going to get around that. Even if you want to do high win rate 1-to-1, you're going to have L's, folks. Like you're going to have losing streaks. You're going to have drawdown. And if you can't accept that, then trading's just not for you. Okay. I don't say that in a condescending way. It's just not for you. If you just cannot accept that you're going to have L's, that you're going to have those swings in capital. Okay. But if you can truly embrace that, and you can truly embrace probabilities, not certainties, but probabilities, you're going to do all right.